We are breaking every barrier.
The reason they are laughing is because the lessons behind today's class in session is it's definitely an insane mind shift. It's messing with our mind. But let's not forget the question that I asked in the beginning. And the question that I asked in the beginning, in case you're wondering where this conversation is going, I asked, is it possible for me to make money doing nothing? I didn't even intentionally use the word passive income. I said doing nothing because I don't want to do something to make money. Thank you thus far for the journey. Not only have we started, if we're headed from Nairobi to Mombasa, Sai to Kwa the river.
Only.
To Kwa the river. To Kwa the river, we stopped in Kitengela. I mean, in Kitengela, we've stopped there to eat, refuel, change a few spark plugs, but let the journey continue. And here's what I want to ask. I heard you mention words. There's some words that you're using, and thus far I've been tracking on. And it's this thing called pay yourself first. And even Rina said he was taking something but then also I heard you say that when you were earning your salary, you weren't doing this. I don't understand it. Or people may be watching and they don't understand it. So let's take it from there. And Rina, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay. The first time I heard that expression, pay yourself first, was when I read a book. It's a very old book that I'm sure majority of the people who are watching it must have come across it. It's by a gentleman called George Clayson, and it's called The Richest Man in Babylon. And so it's a fiction book, and the setting is in Babylon, you know, in the, I don't know, I think 1800s or even before that. Actually, it was even long before that, perhaps even 1600s. Anyway, even before that. It's been a long time since I read the book, but the expression, basically, there's a guy who is frustrated because he's not moved in life. He's been working. We don't know his age, but it sounds from the story like he's 50 years old. He's wondering, oh my gosh, I've done so much, but yet I am broke. And so they sit with this guy who's a wealthy guy, and this wealthy guy starts to tell them the lessons he heard and learned from another wealthy man. And one of the things that he says, when you get your wallet, and you have your wallet and you're working every day, you know, you polish shoes, you do whatever it is that you're doing, you get money in your wallet. And he says the first thing you must do is, if you get $100, take $10 and keep that one for yourself. The rest, you can spend it in the supermarket, you can give it to the hospital, you can give it to the school, you can give it to your landlord, but you've kept $10 for yourself. And what he meant by keeping for yourself is that not just keeping for yourself, you need to put that thing in something that will bear more $10.
Okay.
So you've kept it for yourself, but you're not going to use it yet, because if you use it, then you're not keeping it for yourself. You're going to put it in something else that then generates more children. And that's how you then create this thing of another income as you sleep. So paying yourself first means I am keeping something aside that I'm not going to give to neighbors and KRA and school and all these different things. I'm keeping it for myself because I'm going to use it as a seed to bring out fruits. Because what do we do every day? You go and hunt for today and eat what you hunted, right? Or you go to the farm and eat what you farmed today. But I'm suggesting we don't eat what we've harvested today. We don't go and take seed and eat it. If I have beans, I've planted beans. If I take all of them, I go and eat them. Will I have for the next season? So what I need to do is plant, then I harvest and keep some for the next planting season. And that's how it keeps going. Now, we need to finance our lifestyle, not from the seed we get. And that seed, look at it as an income. So I sell something, I get money. I work somewhere, I get paid. That is seed. The mistake we make is eating that seed. What we need to do is plant that seed, that seed generates trees that produce fruit, and the fruit is what I should then use to finance my lifestyle.
Hey, Rina, you have said this video, you have put in...
Many things. I'm
you
sorry.
know we were having soup. Wewe umekuja na ugali. Hey, but I
dear.
love it because you have put questions already into my mind.
Okay.
But I want us to go back just because you've talked about paying yourself first and then explained that thing where even you pay yourself. There's a place you can put it where it is the right place, and there's a place you can put it where it's the wrong place.
Yes.
Because you were talking about a thing called fruit.
Yeah.
But I don't even want to go into seed and fruit. You've told me about our next videos.
Okay.
Where I am right now is I want to break this thing down again. This time I want to hear it from a pious perspective.
Okay.
Of pay yourself first. Because now, but see, I've gotten my salary. See, I've paid myself. See, nimelipwa. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
See, I did my event. See, I've been paid. Yeah, I've paid myself. I got my salary. So, what explain, fafanua more, explain some more.
Someone asked Steve Ballmer, the former CEO of Microsoft, now I think the 10th wealthiest man in the world. If you asked him, if you were to sum up wealth in one word, what would it be? If you were to sum up wealth in one word, what would it be? And he said, creativity. Now, you can hear, you can see it's not even connecting.
Creativity.
Creativity. We need, for me to answer that question, I need to redefine work. Allow me to redefine work. And I like going back to authority. The Bible says that God rested on the seventh day after working for 6 days. He worked for 6 days, isn't it? What was he doing for 6 days?
He was creating.
He was creating. So, God's true definition of work is creating. Creativity. Now, the thing with how God created, he started from, the Bible says that, first of all, it was chaos, dark, and void. So it was problem. You know, chaos like what we have today. And then it ends with human beings, him creating man. That's the end of his creation. And then he enters into rest. Meaning, God was thinking very carefully what to create on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. There was no way man would have come in day 1. Man came in day 6 so that God could hand over his creation to him. And then he can rest on the 7th day. And I've asked this question in other forums. So what has God been doing since day 7?
Resting.
Resting. He entered into rest. But we'll come back to that. There is a big lesson to learn here. A fundamental lesson to learn, to take to whatever we call our work. One, our work is creativity. We were created in his image to be his co-creators. Right now, this moment, we are talking, we are creating. And we are creating something that is going to impact people beyond this day for many years to come. It is, interesting. We are in the business of creating living things. Living things means they live beyond ourselves. God created living things, and that's why we are here. So lesson 1 is that work in its true definition is actually the work of creativity. Number 2, creation is about building systems. And why do we build systems? We build systems so that they can be self-sustaining. Okay? Now, let me come now to the question of
Pay yourself
pay yourself first. Money, the world of finances where money is concerned, you must engage it with a system. And if you don't have this, if you don't apply the fundamentals of the system, you'll be a certain loser. It is definite that you'll be a loser. You get, eh? So when you are receiving, when you're making money, either from employment or from business, and whether you are a starter or a billionaire, one fundamental principle you must maintain is pay yourself first. It's a fundamental principle. And that's, it's so easy to think about how we recommend this for people who don't have money. I'm going to talk about billionaires. If you're a billionaire and you're getting your cash flows and you're not paying yourself first, it means all your money, all the cash flows you generate go away and they never multiply.
Yeah.
So you have exited the system that God created and the mandate they were given, which was to subdue, to multiply and subdue the earth. You get it? You cannot multiply unless you pay yourself first, meaning you sow a seed. So let me go back to my story so that I can simplify things a bit. When Amos Ngahu came and spoke to us about our finances and I started reflecting, it was by the one meeting. I still remember I paid now a very meager fee compared to the benefit that I got. And we decided to be putting aside entire income away and forget it. I did an interesting exercise just before that, and that really now pushed me completely over the edge. I said, all the money that we receive in this home, where does it go to? And I didn't take 1 month, I took a whole year. So take our salaries times 12. And then I did a pie chart. My goodness. I realized that all along, the number one person we were paying was a landlord. The places we used to eat, especially when you're working in town and all, there is a place you eat. And everybody else, it was a whole pie chart, but there was one person missing.
You.
Me. And I realized I was never working for myself. I was working for my landlord. I was working for Safaricom. I was working for Nairobi Water Company. I was working for every person that I was paying bills to, not even my employer. The reason I was going to meet my employer was because these people were pushing me to. They were a threat to my life. And right there, I had an aha moment. I want this pie chart. If 30% goes to my landlord, I want to come just before my landlord. And that's how we introduced our Nini. And the moment we introduced that, automatically we started building a portfolio without even realizing we were building a portfolio.
Jargon word hapo, but I don't even know. He said a word called portfolio. We're going to come
back to that.
But that is so beautiful what you have said. After because this is another mindset shift.
Yeah.
And the mindset shift, now I'm understanding, any time you get an income, it doesn't matter if it is 100 bob, 1 shilling, 1 million, you have to take something there to put away.
Yes.
And that putting away is what you're calling paying yourself first. If you notice, I'm not going to where we're going to put it. That's a different thing.
Sure.
And what I'm hearing from you, by the way, this one has really hit me hard. I am hearing you say that if I never pay myself first, if I don't pay myself first, tumemaliza hapa. I can stop this video.
We can say
I will never get to that place.
No, never, never.
I will never get to that place in the first question where I asked, where can I do nothing and make money?
In fact, you're very kind. I'd say it more brutally. You have committed yourself to poverty.
Completely. That's why we currently have a situation where 80% of Kenyans are not saving for retirement. Only 20% are. And out of the 20%, majority of them don't even have 1 million shillings saved. Like we only have about 1% that have enough to live on after they retire.
After they stop that thing that Pius called working.
Yes.
And that is still toiling. You see, the thing is this, and I want to really make sure we don't lose the word creativity. God created the tree how many times?
Once.
Why? Because the tree grows 2 ways, downwards and upwards, double. Okay? You never see the roots, isn't it? But in fact, it is said that the length of the tree is also equivalent to the length of the roots. Yeah? But he created the tree once, that once the fruit falls, it germinates.
Another tree grows. He created animals.
Wow, there's the system.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about, system. He created animals in twos. You see, the duality of God. You get, He created animals in twos, male and female. So that what? He does not have to create lions again. He do not have to create giraffes again. As long as he created male and female, then there will be what?
Reproduction,
there will be multiplication.
He even kept the system when he was flooding the world.
Even when he was flooding the system.
He said, make sure they enter.
Make sure the system remains. Make sure the system remains. He created everything to multiply itself. Then he said, wait. I have created man. It is not good for man to be alone.
There's no multiplication.
This one, there is a problem. It's the only time in creation he said, this is not good. And then he said, I will create for him a suitable helpmate. So that now it is man and woman. What will they do? They would multiply and subdue the earth. Our greatest mandate is to multiply.
Do you know, by the way, if you don't use that system,
yes,
it results in death.
It is death, exactly. So the thing is this. If you earn a salary today, even if it's 1,000 bob, and you don't put aside something to pay yourself, you have defied the entire system of God of multiplication. And it means you will stay. It is what God said, we looked at him and said, it is not good. This does not look good. When you don't pay yourself, even God says, this does not look good because it's not set up for multiplication. But when you pay yourself, you start a multiplication process that now you create something, a living thing. When you see multiplication is not you multiplying, you create a living thing that is now independent of you, that now generates cash flow.
Okay. Let me. I was about to move into the conversation of multiplication because I think that's where you put that pay yourself first. But even before I get there,
we have not even gotten there.
Yes,
we're talking about the system.
Yes, we're talking. And here's what I'm hearing. Core ground when you gave your story, and even Rina has talked about this thing. There's something that this thing has to cause you to do, and that is again feel the pain. It causes you to shift your lifestyle. It causes you to analyze your life. Because you looked at, you are eating 100%, and maybe giving a restaurant 10%.
You must pay a price.
So there was paying a price.
You must pay a price. Even he says that Adam was put to sleep and he removed his bone. He paid a price.
Yep.
Okay.
But the point is this: once you create that system and there is cash flow, you end up with what all of us are looking for: redemption of time. You get time, a lot of time, and a lot of
Cash flow.
cash flow. Actually, I like that
And you know,
now.
the problem is there's so many lies, huh? There's so many lies, and lies everywhere. Lies about, you know, you need money to make money. Lies about, even the one you started with, time is equal to
Time is money.
money.
No way.
Another lie, which I want you to talk about,
Yes.
is there's no such thing as a get rich
Rich
quick
quick
scheme.
scheme.
I know you guys.
Another
In fact, these guys are now blaspheming here. We're taking a break. And so, we'll switch off these cameras. We'll be back. We'll be back in a bit.